Hello, everyone. It's me, Andrew. Hopefully, y'all are doing well out there. It's Monday. What day is it? Monday, October 20th. I think it's Monday, October 20th. We had another busy day here getting things ready. I had a bunch of meetings today, so I was doing that, kind of getting that situated. We have, oh boy, um, we had a busy weekend, and hopefully, all had a good weekend as well. William, he's not feeling well. He has a migraine, so I'm filling in, and hopefully, y'all don't mind. I'm just jumping in there. I thought it would be fun to do buttons tonight. One of the things that I've been kind of thinking about a lot lately is that the prices of metals have been going up, um, and it would be a good thing to promote kind of alternative and mixed media things that don't require, a huge investment. So I've been thinking about that a lot and trying to help kind of get that kind of going. I know it'll eventually kind of happen naturally as the market kind of, as everybody kind of deals with the market kind of situation. But I thought it might be good to kind of focus on that. So if you have made something in the past using buttons in your design, whether it is a closure or as a focal or just using it as a mixed media element. We would love to see that. So please, please, please share that in the Allegory Gallery Design Challenge group because we'd love to see that, and hopefully that'll inspire folks and get people interested in working with buttons and mixed media and found objects and different things like that. So I see a couple folks have tuned in so far. I see Norma's watching. Howdy, Norma. Marianne's watching. She says buttons galore. Howdy. Norma says buttons are always fun. Susie, our neighbor's watching. Howdy, Susie. Harry's watching. Hi, Harry. Marianne says, I love that yellowish bowl you posted. Oh, good. Yeah, so we were not live on Friday. Unfortunately, we couldn't stream from the event that we had attended, um, but we did have a good time. So a couple, maybe last year, I don't remember when, but it was a while ago. I saw the work of an artist named David Frieda, and David Frieda was giving a presentation at his work, and I think it was in California or somewhere like that. Um, and it was really far away, and I was like, "Oh, I wish I could see that presentation because the work is just so phenomenal." So, if you don't know his work, he was commissioned by Tiffany's to make these realistic orchids, and the orchids were in the way that he does them. He casts them in solid gold and then enamels on top, and they are incredible works of art, and it just blows my mind when I see the kind of the level of skill that goes into the creation of that. And so I was like, oh, I wish I could go and see his presentation because he's just so phenomenal at what he does. And then a couple weeks ago, Barbara Miner shared a Facebook post about about him doing another presentation. And when I clicked on the image and kind of zoomed in, I saw that it was in Salzburg. And if you're not familiar with the area, Salzburg is about 35 minutes away from us. And I had to double check, and I Googled it, and I made sure that that was the Salzburg that they're talking about and not some other Salzburg on the other side of the state. Um, and I got super excited about that. Um, Not only was he going to be presenting, but David Huang was also going to be presenting. He does these raised vessels that he then embellishes with chasing and repoussé and gold leaf, and there's some really amazing work. There's another artist that was going to be presenting named Nemo Gould. He works with found objects and creates these fun kind of whimsical robots that are getting up to no good. And Tom Finneran, I think that's how you say his last name. He was doing a presentation on carving stones, particularly jade. His handle on Instagram is Jade Bones, and he carves like really super intricate jade bones, and worked also for Tiffany and a baron making like a bear playing a violin. So there are some really amazing, talented people, and I'm glossing over some of the other people. And I really was interested in going. And so what I did is I emailed them and I was like, hey, do you have any spots left? And if so, do you have any scholarship opportunities? And luckily, they said that they had some discounted tickets since we for us, and which was super generous and very kind of them to do. I know it costs a lot of money to bring artists of that caliber in for the weekend and to do all this programming and to do all of that. The organization is called the Plumier Foundation. They are kind of a group dedicated to ornamental turning, which I did not even know was a thing. But apparently there are some very, I don't know, technical things. There's a thing called a rose engine, which produces what are called guilloches. And they are, it's basically imagining if you combine engraving with spirographs. They create these super intricate kind of mandala-esque patterns in metal, and apparently you can do this also on stone and ceramic and all kinds of things, which I didn't even know you could do that, but apparently it exists. And they also do vessel turning and all kinds of stuff. They make tools, and they were based out of, I believe, New Jersey, in Port Chester. I could be making this up, but they recently relocated to Salzburg and spent, I think, a year or so on rehabilitating this old building. And if you've ever seen the show American Pickers, it's kind of like they go out and they find these like small towns and they go through barns and all kinds of stuff. And Salzburg was featured on that show. And they actually featured the mill, which is right next door to the Plumier Foundation. And they did such a wonderful job fixing up this building. And it's a world-class facility where there are machinery. There's machinery there that probably only exists in this space, really, to my knowledge. It's not how you call it, a cheap date to get into this. So I was like, oh, that'd be cool. And then I looked up the prices of the Rose engines, and some of the ones that they had restored are like $90,000, and I was like, well, that's for somebody else, but super super fun for them. There are ways of getting involved in stuff that I may look into, or collaborate with some of the other folks. But they had people come from all over the country for this event, and it was pretty exciting to see those machines in action, because I'd kind of heard of them before, and I of course had seen the kind of final product. It used to be a little bit more commonplace, and people would enamel on top of this. But it kind of is a dying, I shouldn't say dying art, because that makes it sound like there's nobody else kind of carrying the torch forward. But it is something that because of the way that manufacturing has kind of evolved and different things like that. It's not as commonplace as it was. So there's a bunch of people who are kind of dedicated to kind of bringing that craft back to life. And one of the ways that they're doing that is by inspiring collaborations with other craftspeople, which is why their fall gathering had so many people who were in the craft world who were not ornamental turners. So that may be why their roster of people they had speak were not, people doing the thing that they were doing, but doing things that had the same kind of level of precision and that dedication um, to detail and attention to detail and really putting an effort into that craftsmanship. So we were lucky to be able to go. Thanks everybody who got things in our new arrivals sale. We've had some really wonderful sales the past couple weeks. We went to pick out some stuff from a warehouse buyout and got a lot of things, and people had purchased some stuff. So it allowed us to go. And with their generosity of a discounted ticket, we were able to go. And it was really nice to see everything. It was a little bit tricky because I'm not 100% yet. And so I was kind of hobbling around a little bit, but I'm getting better day by day. So even though, I couldn't, I wasn't at 100%, I still could attend. And so that was good. And then on Sunday, we had the Witches Bike Brigade, which is an annual event that happens here in Ligonier. They've been doing it for, I believe, 9 years. And when we were in town, it was one of my favorite events because it brought so many fun people into town. Everybody got dressed up and they're dancing and they're in costume. It used to be women only, and it was all to support animals and local animal organizations. And it's when Paula was sick a while ago. And we didn't really have any money at the time. We were going through kind of a hard patch, and they stepped up and helped us with Paolo's veterinary bills, and that allowed him to live a lot longer. It's a cause that's near and dear to our heart, and we always want to give back however we can. And they allowed us, this is the first time that they've done this, but there's an area where they do the Ligonier Country Market, which they usually do every Saturday throughout the summer. And they opened that up to some of the vendors that they brought in, and it was a really fun event. William went and set up our table there. So it was nice to kind of get back into touch with some of those folks. And yeah, it looked, he said that he had a lot of fun. All right, I see a couple more folks have tuned in. Marianne said, Andrew, that orchid you posted was fantastic. Yes, it's an incredible feat, and really it's amazing. I kind of picked his brain about certain things, and luckily he was very generous with his information and told me some of his secrets. And so I'll be able to apply some of those things to to my own creations. I probably am, we got the casting set up for metals. Of course, the price of metals has skyrocketed since we have acquired that, and we're getting that kind of set up. So, luckily we have as kind of a pile of stuff that we can use to kind of get that going. But anyways, one of the things that I loved about his work is that he is actually casting the elements, and they're from life, so that they are a life scale. They have the detail of life, and they're just really meticulously crafted. So I appreciate that and want to start getting more into that and have ways of incorporating cast objects into my own work. And so that's kind of exciting for me, at least I think so. And let's see, Ian's watching. Howdy, Ian. Suzanne is watching. She said, hello, everyone. Glad you got your passports. That was quick. Yeah, we paid for the expedited passports. So we got those on a rocket ship. And we were worried because they said it would maybe take between 2 and 4 weeks. And it was more on the 2 end and less, not on the 4 end. The thing I'm kind of worried about is you had to send your documents actually in, and so my birth certificate, which is kind of hanging by a thread as it is it's been around the block and seen some things. It is pretty much threadbare. I don't know. It's all as you know when you fold a piece of paper over and over and over, and then that seam becomes like soft. Well, it's like that. And so we had to send that in, and because you have to send the original document in for some of the documents. And yeah, I don't know. They're sending it back separately, so we'll see. I mean, I hopefully it will be sent back in good condition, and I don't have to worry about it like falling apart even more. I guess nowadays you can always apply for a new one. William, he ended up applying for a new one because he needed it for something. I can't remember, for some kind of paperwork. And it is somewhere in the house, and we haven't been able to find it. I do have an idea of where it may be, but yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But he was able to apply for a new birth certificate, and they sent that pretty quick. And then that enabled us to get the passports. So we're one step closer, and I'm super excited about that. I'm a little bit nervous because there's a lot of moving parts about this trip. So not only, so with the trip, how that got to be, because I never thought that we would be doing this. Like, we are in an extremely we're in a time period in our business that's going through, there's a lot of stuff like in flux and a lot of change that we're going through. When we moved the store, that really kind of threw our business for a loop and different things like that. So like the idea of going to Italy when we're going through all this stuff with our business is not necessarily something that I was like, oh yeah, let's definitely 100% do that. But what ended up happening was I won a scholarship through Cohort Arts, which is a wonderful organization. They are mostly focused on ceramics, but they've been adding slowly metals to their repertoires. And what they do is they match a mentor with mentees, and you meet twice a month, one-on-one with your mentor, online and via Zoom, and then once a month with the whole cohort. So it's a year-long process, and I was very lucky and won a scholarship to work with Jennifer Wells. She is based out of Italy and Certaldo, Italy, which is in Tuscany, and it's outside of Florence. And at first, I really didn't know if we could make it work. It's a big trip and a big expense, and I have not been able to travel internationally, so I was a little bit hesitant about it. But when I talked with them and I talked with William, he was like, just go for it. So we're kind of doing it's going to do double duty. So not only do you go and you meet with your mentor online, but you also get a week of instruction with your mentor in person with the rest of your cohort. And so she lives in Italy, so we're going to go there, and I want a week long workshop with her there. And since William and I, when we got married during the height of the pandemic. And so, I mean, not the height. I mean, we got engaged during the lockdown, but we didn't get married until a little bit later after that. But, so it was very up and down with what was possible. And like, we didn't really have money anyways because we were in the middle of the pandemic. And it was, the business was on rocky ground. And we couldn't really, like, justify blowing a bunch of money on a honeymoon when we were like scrambling to do whatever we could to keep the business going. So we decided that since I was going to be going, we would take a little bit extra time, and we would be going there, and kind of make it, two birds with one stone. So go there for the workshop, but also go there to have a honeymoon. And luckily, we've been super fortunate to have people who have wanted us to do that. So they've helped us get the plane tickets and the accommodations, and we're inching our way to that goal. And it's going to be in less than a month, which I'm a little bit terrified because there's so much to do before we can go. We have to raise quite a bit of money before we can actually go, because like, things don't actually stop here, and we have to make money to kind of pay for all of the bills that we're going to be gone. And while we're gone, we're not going to be able to work. So, when you're self-employed, you don't get paid vacation necessarily. I don't know anybody who's self-employed that gets paid vacation. But so you don't really get that, or at least we don't. And so we have to make oodles and oodles about our money before we can go. So that's a little bit stressful. I'm trying not to stress out about it, and instead I'm trying to focus on it in a like a positive way, and think about it as like a challenge, like a creative challenge. What can I do? What can I make? How can we kind of do things to reach our goal, so that while we're gone, we're not kind of like, when we get back, we're not into instantly hot water, if you know what I mean. So, let's see. I mean, it says it's great that there is a foundation that supports this. Yeah, I do think it's awesome. I'm glad that they're around and can kind of preserve this information, because it's pretty wild. It was really interesting to see the machines at work, and it was definitely something that I had never really thought, about. Like, I think I'm in a specialized field now in the art jewelry world, and this is like even more specialized. But it is so lucky that we have that resource so close to hand. And they're going to be doing a lot of different things that support the craft industry in general. So I feel very lucky that we're positioned pretty close geographically, because it's nice when you can kind of sleep in your own bed, and you don't have to, like, fly out and then get a hotel and all that, because if that was the case, we would not have been able to go. But luckily, they were close enough that we could drive there, and they're super nice people, definitely very kind and very aware of what it takes to thrive in a challenging atmosphere. So they talked a lot about supporting young people and people who are getting into the craft, and how they can help people, And I think it's really inspiring to see people take an idea and make it into a reality, and then do such an excellent job at it. I think, at least. I mean, the building and facilities that they renovated are really top notch. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful, and they put so much attention to detail, as much attention to detail that they put into their work as into the building, and it's just really beautiful and an immaculate space. Norma says, I would love to come for the witches event sometime. Yeah, it happens every October, and I don't know if there's like a set weekend when it happens. I know it's always on a Sunday. And I can't remember. Sometimes it changes. I don't know if it has to do with like venues or whatever, but it's something that they do every year, and it's grown to the point where they've kind of had groups that have kind of splintered off from them, and there are people who just like to dance, and so they go to different parades and they get all dressed up and they do all of that. So it's an interesting thing to see as they kind of like evolve and grow, and it supports a good cause. So we love them. The people who run it and organize it, they are super kind. One of them is our back behind neighbor. She's super great. And all of them are super kind. So we are happy to participate however we can. It was a little sad because when we closed the store in Ligonier and moved to Johnstown, we thought kind of like that's like the last hurrah for us to be involved with that event, and they opened this up. So it's very lucky for us that they have made that accommodation, and we were able to do that. And it was real short. I think it was only like a couple of hours that our portion of the event lasted. But it was still good. I think it was a beautiful day, and William said that he had a great time. Kimberly's watching. Howdy, Kimberly. Um, Norma says, hi, Kimberly. That necklace you made for your niece was spectacular. Marianne says, yes, Kimberly, that necklace was truly awesome. Yeah, y'all did a good job. Anne said, I just ordered 2 certified copies of my birth certificate. I got them in about a week. That's awesome. Yeah, I did not know how that would all go down with all the current events happening. I don't really know how those things are affected by the government. So I'm so thankful that we were able to get them, and that we were able to get them in time to before the trip. So that's what my birth certificate is like too, where it's like folded up. Yeah. It's I should put it in like a protective sleeve or something like that, but I don't know. And I also found it at the cottage, which was so weird. It was, I guess what may have happened was at one point when we were moving things, I used to have it in my studio and in the house when I had a studio inside the house, and I may have put it on the bookshelf for safekeeping. And then when we moved the books from the house to the cottage, somehow it ended up at the cottage. And so luckily I knew right where it was for mine. William, I don't know, his is still MIA. But I'm sure once we don't need it anymore, then we'll find it. But he already got his replacement, so it's fine. Marianne says, you will love Italy. I'm super excited, but again, I am a little bit nervous. There is a lot of stuff that will go into us going on the trip. I also have not traveled very much by plane lately. I used to fly out all the time, and I was a seasoned traveler, and I travel a lot now, but most of the travel that I do now, I drive. So even when it's like to Tucson, the past couple years that we've gone, I've driven. So I haven't really flown in a plane in years. I can't even remember it was definitely before the pandemic. The height of the pandemic. So that was, I don't know. I can't remember the last time. Must have been like in 2018. I did a lot uh, of work for people. And I was out in San Francisco and I was out in Minnesota. Um, and that's probably the last time that I flew. But it's been a while since I've flown. So I feel William, he's gonna probably have the biggest kind of adjustment because he doesn't travel as much as I do. Usually he's the one that kind of stays here and holds down the 4 hour leg go. And this is probably the longest that he'll have be going away. Um, and so yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting. So he has a migraine, so he is off tonight. I told him to rest and relax and kind of heal up. And so he is not going to be on tonight. But yeah, Susan Surreal's watching a howdy. She was like, she said hi to everybody. Let's see. Susan said the witches event sounds awesome. Yeah, it's really a fun kind of event. Um, it's really, I think, a night. I mean, it's evolved over the years, so it's changed a little bit. But it is something that helps a lot of people and helps animals, and helps raise money for that. And so I think the people who have got that kind of going, they're super awesome. And I'm glad that they do it because it is a really fun event in town. And I think people, they get to be creative and get dressed up, and it's it's nice to be able to kind of let loose every once in a while. Susan said, and I had to order new copies of my birth certificate. And Susan says for real ID they arrived pretty quickly as well. Yeah, we ended up having to get real ID as well. And maybe that's why he had to get his birth certificate before, because I got my real ID pretty easily, and I probably have to renew it at this point. I need to check that. But yep. Marion, so they should check into getting a copy since it is 72 years old paper. And then Susan says, Kimberly, the necklace you created for your niece was fabulous. Yeah, y'all have been doing a really lovely job. I've noticed in the Allegory Gallery Design Challenge group, Anne made some really cool pieces and getting ready for the animal auction. When is the animal auction, and what are the details? Um, so Anne was getting ready for that and has been making lots of cool things. And Kimberly, of course, with that one necklace, and Susan Siegel made that really beautiful piece using Harry's pendant. And you all have been just really wonderful with getting stuff made. I always like to see what people make. And I'm sure I'm forgetting folks. But post it in the Allegory Gallery Design Challenge group. We always like to see what people are making. And if you have a design that features a button, even better, because button tonight. All right, so I talked about what we did over the weekend. Today, William got up early and went and did a bunch of packing and shipping. Probably overdid it, honestly. He was running around doing that. And I was doing meetings today. I'm helping do some interviews for an exhibition that I'm a part of. And so we were talking about some of the logistics about that. And there's a lot of stuff that we talked about in the meeting. Um, and yeah, so busy today. Um, I'm in two shows right now, and they actually are in the same building. And it's kind of funny how that ended up happening. But my work is in the members exhibition at Touchstone, and it's in the Alleghenies Metal Collective show that's also at Touchstone right now. And I kind of thought that that was going to be it for the end of the year, but I'm actually going to have some pieces in New York City Jewelry Week. Unfortunately, we can't go this year. That's another one that I kind of just want to like crack the nut and just break the seal on that, because we've been trying to go for the past couple of years, and there's always been something that happened. We even got an Airbnb with some folks one year and paid for everything, and then I think Barnaby got really sick right before we left, and we ended up having to cancel at the last minute. But anyway, so yeah, so it would be nice to go there. This year we're going to be in Italy while they're doing it. And I'm going to have some pieces in represented there. One of the pieces is going to be in a show from Queerphoria, or the Queer Metalsmiths, and it's Queerphoria Volume 5, I believe. And the theme is flourish. I have one of my self-portrait pieces. It's called Wallflower. It's one of the beaded ones, which is pretty wild. But that one's going to be in that show. And then I got another one of the beaded ones. I had the hardest time getting those pieces shown, but seems like it's all a matter of timing. So I'm going to have another piece in the Dream Machine show, and that's also going to be at Urban Glass. So if you are in New York City during New York City Jewelry Week, I would love to see if you go to that show, or if you go to those shows, and take pictures, because I'm not going to be able to go, so I would love to see those pieces displayed. I also got invited to speak on a panel. It's a pre-recorded panel, and I'm going to be talking about portraiture in jewelry. And I got asked out of the blue to do it, so I'm pretty excited about that. I didn't even have to like hassle anybody about trying to get interviewed. So I think it's nice that my work is getting recognized and I'm able to show my work. So I believe there's one other show that I'm going to be in. And so I thought I was going to have like a light year of shows this year, but I've had been in at least, I think, 12. By the end of the year, it'll be 12 different shows, which I think is pretty wild, considering that I wasn't trying to. Susan said, Marianne, my hubs should get a new copy of his birth certificate. He was born on a naval base in Rhode Island, which hasn't existed for decades. Oh boy. Marianne says, aren't birth certificates a state document? Susie's watching. Howdy, Susie. Susan says, send in William healing vibes that his migraine goes away soon. Yeah, hopefully he feels better. I know he wanted to hang out with y'all. It feels weird when we don't do a live for a while. Because you're the hashtag AGB fam, and when we don't see y'all, it kind of is like so weird. Like I'm like, what day is it? Who are we? Like when I go away to do to the craft schools and stuff, I'm like, what's happening to me? So I know he wanted to hang out with y'all, but he was super nauseous, and I didn't want him to have to like throw up on camera. But I guess that's one way to get views. I don't know what the kids are doing these days. I'm gonna flip this around so we can get going. I've been talking about 40 minutes, and I don't want to run out of steam. I don't have as much practice as William doing this, so y'all gonna have to bear with me. Let's see, camera, back, ultra wide. All right. What are we're doing this? We're doing this. Let me see. I used to have this piece of driftwood, and people were like, what the heck is that driftwood for? And it would color correct. I don't know if with William's phone, his new phone, if it automatically color corrects or what. But let me put the ticker tick parade down at the bottoms. So y'all know what's the plan. I'm sure you already know how to do this. So to purchase from this video, take down each lot number and send it to us in an email. Our email address is info@allegorygallery.com. When I have a lot, I have a little paper here. This is a lot number. There'll be a price. The price for these lots are $3. This is per lot. So they will say how many lots are available. There's just one lot. But if there are multiples, if you want more than one, then indicate that. So BTB1 times 2, if there were 2. And we fill them to the quantity that we have. It's first come, first serve. And what else? If you're new to us, be sure to send us your shipping address by the end of the evening. And if you have a different email address for payment, we send our invoices out via Square. So just keep that in mind. Also, if you claim anything and you get it, you are agreeing that you are serious and you're going to get it. So no claim everything and then only pick 3 things. You have to get everything that you got. Otherwise, it's not really fair to everybody else who is also watching. All right, I think I covered all my bases. And so we have an event here called Yahara, which is paddle, where people dress up like witches and paddle on the river. Yeah, there is an event where they were like cleaning up some waterways and stuff. And it's pretty cool, I think. All right, so this one is going to be BTB1. It's $3. And this is a vintage ceramic button. I got this when we went to do the warehouse buyout. It's really lovely. It's a ceramic button. These were handmade in the Czech Republic in 1998. The vendor that we got them from, he said that he tried to locate the factory where this was made, and he could not find it. It's really lovely. It's got kind of a gray, like a bluish gray, green over kind of a purpley brown. And then it's got these 2 holes in there. There's a little bit of chipping happening where they kind of grind down where the glaze kind of overflows sometimes. But it's still a beautiful button, would make a great closure on things. And this button measures approximately 34 millimeters, and that's BTB1, $3. All right, so a lot of these we're going to do are going to be $3 tonight, and they are vintage ceramic, again from the Czech Republic, and this is going to be BTB2, $3, and we're going to go with this one. It's similar to the first one. It's got a fun kind of toffee kind of color, a little bit of a golden beige kind of color, and it's got some fun texture on there. And that's another 2-hole kind of button. It almost looks like they did a raku firing on this because it's kind of got a smoky kind of look to the base of this. And this one is also, let me see how big is this? All right, that's about 33. So it's about the same size, 33, 34. And let's see, let's do another one, a couple more of these ones. Well, this one is fun. This is going to be BTB3. I love this. This has got kind of a metallic glaze, a silver. See that silver shimmer and shine? And so I had tried to get a check green spider button, but missed out. However, on the necklace I meant it for, I used a ceramic bone button for the class. It looks really cute. And then, and so those buttons would look cute on a hand knit sweater. Yeah, definitely. I saw these really cute cards. I know some of y'all do paper crafting, and they stitched the button directly onto the cardstock, and it was the cutest card. And I thought it was such a great use for, a button hoard. And so 2 would work well with bone beads. Yeah, that would be awesome, I think. So this one is going to be $3 also for this one. It's a little bit bigger and a little bit thicker. I think if you are going to use it for clothing, like Anne said, like in a in like a sweater, something knit, that would be awesome. I should have gathered up some different projects using buttons, but we kind of fly on this by the seat of our pants here at Allegory Gallery. So unfortunately, I didn't have time to prepare for that. But there's some wonderful resources, and hopefully folks will post things in the Allegory Gallery Design Challenge group of things that they made using buttons. So this is about 37 millimeters. This one's a little bit thicker. It's about 7.5 millimeters thick, and it's got this beautiful kind of mottled silvery gray look. So that's BTB3. And no claims so far, but I know some folks want to see stuff. Marion says, do you knit in? And Anne said, yes. All right, this one's a really beautiful one. This one is going to be BTB4 and is also $3. This has a stunning kind of turquoise glaze on there. And then on the other side, it's kind of got a corrugated texture. And this is also $3. Anne says, I wish I did. I don't like to practice though. Yeah, I tried to learn how to knit, and our shop used to be next to a knitting store. And so I had a teacher come over and she showed me how to do it. And it was when we first opened the store, and I thought I would in my downtime, I would be knitting up stuff. And so when we first opened the store, it was super stressful. I mean, I used to pull over on the side of the road and sob uncontrollably when things got overwhelming. And so we had I worked on my practice piece, and then she came into it and inspect it, and so she's like, I normally don't tell people to drink, but you may want to have a couple glasses of wine and find a comfortable chair, because this is too tight. And so I guess I was my tension was too much, and I was pulling it too tight. And so basically I was making armor. It was so tightly knit, and she's like, you want to kind of relax a little bit. And I was stabbing the things in there. And I was like, I don't know if this is for me because my wrists are hurting. And she's like, your wrists shouldn't hurt when you're knitting. And I was like, yeah, they hurt. And she was like, yeah, because you doing it too hard. So I never got into it. Man says, I find knitting easy, but I haven't done it for a while. Brooke said, the bead store right next to a knitting store, I'd go broke. Yeah, we had a good time. That was a lot of fun. Sometimes they would come over, the knitters, and they would have mixed stitch markers for them. And boy, would I hustle. They would come over and pick stuff out of the treasure box for like the 25-cent beads, and I'd be making them stitch markers as fast as I could for like 75 cents. And they're like, "You're undercharging," and I was like, "Well, whatever." And I would just be whipping them out as quickly as I could. All right, so this one isn't perfectly round. It's kind of a teardrop shape. It's got a fun kind of I don't know if you can see that. It's got kind of a bronzy salt and pepper with some black um, cow spots. I don't know. It almost looks like a jasper, to be honest. And this one is about 34 by about 20, 29. And then this one is about 5 millimeters thick. All right. And it says, knitting sounds so fussy. My happy time is knotting a beaded necklace, relaxing, and works up quickly. Yeah, I was not super great at reading patterns. Let me tell you that. I was super duper. I get so confused. I was like, knit one, purl two. I don't, well, do what? What's my name? Who am I? Where am I? Oh, we got a claim for BTV4. Thank you so much. First claim of the evening. All right. I'll take that away in a second. So we've got BTV6, $3. And we're going to do this one. This one's a lovely, another vintage ceramic from the Czech Republic. This is a really beautiful Concord grape colored glaze on ceramic with that kind of bluey, kind of white, I don't know, snow drifts. Really pretty. And this one is about 30 millimeters, and that's BTB6. Brooke said there's a British lady on YouTube who makes bead woven brick stitch markers. Oh, fun. I love, there's a woman in Hawaii whose name is Bead Crumbs, and she does super cute, they're called kawaii patterns for brick stitch. And those would be great as stitch markers. Brooke says, I like that teal button. And then Brooke says, reminds me of Snowflake Obsidian. I could definitely see that. All right. Let's I'll keep going. And then, so this is BTB7. This is also $3. There's one available. And let's do a different shape. This is fun. This is a square. So far, all of them have been more roundish. This is kind of like kind of reminds me of the cheese. The shape, at least, not the color. If you see a cheese at this color, don't eat. Well, don't eat this either. You chip your teeth. So this is about 27 by about 26 and a half or so. And this is about 6 millimeters thick. This has a beautiful kind of pinky, kind of a raspberry kind of color on half with a little bit of that white kind of speckles and then a black on the other side. And that's super lovely. That would be great with kazuri beads, to be honest. Norma says, I've been trying to relearn knitting and crochet. My grandma taught me both as a teenager, but I never did it as an adult. I keep screwing up when I pull and doing the stitches backwards. Oh, when you purl. and do the stitches backwards. Yeah, I had a hard time with that as well. I would kept dropping stitches and there would be like holes on my stuff. And then I would start splitting the stitches and then like it was a wobbledy mess. Works is a really interesting square shape. Don't see that often. I agree. Marianne says it really isn't fussy in my opinion. Only two stitch types really. Attention is the one thing you need to pay attention to. I get confused easy, so it's not. I've I've um I've given it up to the universe and let other people run with it. Because some things are you just like um you just kind of pick up naturally and then it kind of is more satisfying. I guess it's one thing if you're like trying to do brain training and you want to like really challenge yourself, but I don't like to struggle or be in pain, so I'll let that to somebody else. Marion said never really learned how to crochet. William started to learn how to crochet but hasn't done it for a minute. um and says I didn't need a ceramic cheese it to chip a tooth. I did it on a popcorn kernel Friday. I got a temporary crown today. Oh boy. Hopefully you're okay, Anne. That sounds stressful. How about we'll continue with these wackadoodle shapes. And this one is also $3. This is BTB8. This is that beautiful red, kind of fiery red color. And I don't know what that is. Parabola. Tesseract. I don't know what that is. Tessellation. And it's about 20 by 28ish by 7. So this is a really lovely color, I think, at least. And we'll keep going. This is another button, ceramic button. This is from 1998. These are all handmade in the Czech Republic. This one has 4 holes. So if you want something that's got 4 holes, here you go. This is going to be BTB 9, $3 only. And yeah, these are handmade vintage buttons. I think that's really a great price. I dug through a warehouse for them for y'all, so hopefully folks enjoy them. Let's do another parabola. This one is kind of like a bronzy color. This has 2 jumbotron holes. Those would be great for leather. This is going to be BTB 10, and it's going to be only $3 for this really fun metallic one. I think these would be great for kazuri beads or mixing some kind of African beads or kind of large hole beads and stringing them up on leather. Doing those Chandlu style bracelets with the leather and then stitching in between. That would be really fun as well. Susan says, hard to believe a button made in 1998 is vintage. I know, you're telling me. But we were doing some math. We've been watching this show called Younger, and I was like, do what? And so, anyways, I won't talk about ageism tonight, but at least not a lot. But yeah, I feel for Liza. And so Julie Peterson says, I haven't seen Julie in a minute, so hopefully she's doing well. I know she likes the big stuff. Marion says, I think socks are probably the most difficult thing to knit. I don't knit socks. Yeah, I started making a scarf, but I ended up just making, because I didn't know how to add more thread or more yarn. So it ended up just being a really kind of weird shaped hot pad. And then I made a scarf and it was like a really skinny scarf. Again, because I didn't know how to add thread. So I kind of just winged it. I don't really use those scarves, so I don't know if that was an effective use of my time or not, but it was fun to try it. Ooh, I like this one. How about it? This one has got a little gold little circle in the middle, and then it's got kind of a frame of a blue, like a cornflower blue, and then it looks black, but it's like a really intense, deep, um, maybe black, but it's kind of got an eggplant, kind of aubergine color, and it's got kind of a metallic glaze on it. And that one is going to be BTB 11, and is only going to be $3 for that. All right, so that's that. Susan says parallelograms, I guess. And Susan says Julie posting on her own FB account. Oh, good. Yeah, I see her every once in a while pop up, but I don't really see her on the lives very much lately. And so I'll talk about age. I felt so old today at work. I felt tech challenged. They kept upgrading our tech and not providing any training, not so much as a tip sheet. Ooh boy, that's not good. Yeah, I kind of I try to keep flexible with like updates. Like I don't want to become like one of those people who's like, oh, I can't use the computer, even though I am becoming like that. But I use Photoshop pretty regularly. I used to use it every single day. And you would buy one program and then you just kind of used it until the wheels fell off. And it was kind of expensive to get Photoshop, but once you kind of learned it, you learned it. There weren't really any major changes. But they switched to a subscription service, so now you have to pay monthly, and they change it every single month. And let me tell you, I get banana bunker crazy because they will move something like 2 millimeters. For why? I don't know. They just like, oh, we just gonna move it to move it. And so there are things that I have like trained my way, like a horse that goes in a path, they can do it blindfolded and do it backwards. They've done it so many times. It's dug the grooves in the ground kind of situation. And they just move it ever so slightly just to change it up. I don't know, for fun or festive, who knows? But anyway, so they do that. And I get so dang flipping confused. I have to start like Googling stuff and like how you do this, even though I've done it like a gajillion times. Like we used to do a lot of laser engraved wood pendants. And part of it is because I knew how to use the programs, and I could just like once I figured out how to do it, I could just like do it real quick. Nowadays, I don't know how to do it. So it takes a little bit of figuring every time I do that. And so it takes probably an hour and instead of 5 minutes to do it. Before used to, I would call William would not know how to do it. And he'd call me up and I would be like, here, you go there and you drop down this menu and you go to this and then you do this and then you do this. Now, if he asks me how to do something, I don't know. I was like, that's what the Google's for, because I don't know. All right. Susan says, and that's not good on your employer's part. Yeah, I think that's one of those things. All right, let me clear the deck. We've only sold this one out of all of these. So Ann says, I was a tech smart person when I started this job. Well, maybe you can begin again. I don't know if that's an option. All right, maybe button is not going to be the success I thought it would be tonight. But anyways, it's just fun to hang out and catch up anyhow. So I know somebody was saying something was happening this past weekend. I don't really am involved with that anymore, so I don't pay attention to it. And so I know some folks then blew their stash. But it is what it is. Yeah, I think I used to be pretty tech savvy back in the day, and so like I would do stuff like when the internet first came out. I used to do stuff and would fix the computer and like take things out and add stuff in. If you ask me to do that nowadays, I don't know any which way how to do that. But that information has done all evaporated from my skull. Let me tell you. Um, but I guess that's one of those things like with brain plasticity or whatever. Marianne says programs go through rapid changes and not always a good reason. Yeah, I don't know. There may be a reason. I don't know what it is, and I'm sure it costs millions of dollars whenever they move something, and they got to do what they got to do to keep the price down, or who knows? I don't know. Um, I am listening to some books. There's a new Cassandra Clare series. It's called Sword Catcher, and I got it from the library. Oh, BTB7 got claimed. Thank you so much. Um, so I've been listening to that, and it's a thick one. It's like 24 hours long. But you know what? I must have been like half asleep because I may have accidentally returned it before I was done. Because I don't think I missed. When you return the books, I didn't think I got the deadline. But who knows? I don't know. Oh, I got another claim for the same one. Shucks. BTB7 is sold out. All right. So, anyway, so then I started listening to my other audiobook. I have a bunch on my list. I need to get to work. I've been fixated on that Younger show. And I've been trying to rest up because I don't want to overdo it with my foot. So, I've been trying to take it easy. And we've been kind of watching that show in our wind down time, and that's kind of took over my life. So that's that. Don't spoil it, y'all, because we got like 2 episodes left, and I can't wait to see who Liza ends up with. And if you spoil it for me, I'm gonna spoil something for you. So just so you know, I'm not above playing dirty like that. So, but I miss those shows that are kind of short and satisfying, and they're fun, and they have like really fun characters. A lot of the stuff we now watch. I also don't like how like everything is like super violent now. Like we are super graphic. Like we're watching something, and I was like, this is just gross. Um, all right, let's do something else. Let's do some glass buttons. I know some of y'all had been wanting these ones. These, we did some of them before. They're check glass buttons. I only have one of each. We're gonna do this is BTB 12, $9, and I've got this purple lavender looks like cicada, and it's got a little crystal. It says Chuck glass, vintage Chuck glass cicada button, and you can see it. Let me see. This one made 99, and it's got a metal shank, and really beautiful. BTB 12, $9 only. BTB 13, this one's also $9, only one available. And let's see. That's this one. This kind of lime green color. This is BTB 13, only $9. This is a vintage. This one doesn't have one of the crystals, but I guess you could always glue one in if you wanted to. And this one, that one's a 99 also. They've kind of layered the clear on top and kind of mixed with the color. It's really beautiful. This BTB 13, $9, vintage check glass cicada bomb. All right, this one's also going to be $9, and I think this one glows under the black light. And it's another one of the cicada buttons. And it's in this beautiful seafoam green color. And that one also has a little crystal chaton in there. Let me see if this one, that one does glow. BTB13 got claimed. Thank you. I'll take it out of your eyes. Oh, and BT12, that one got claimed. All right, let's see. Thank you. I'm glad things are getting claimed. I guess y'all don't like them ceramic buttons. I only sold like 2. Let me see. 14's still available. 13 got claimed. I love this one, but that's because I like that stuff that glow in the under the black light. All right, so these ones, let's see. These ones are gonna be a little bit more. Let me get the scissors. I don't know where they went. Un momento, per favor. And said, Marius has not heard of this show. Is it good? Yeah, I like it. It's called Younger. It's by the guy named Darren Star. He used to do the stuff from Melrose Place and Beverly Hills 90210. I think those are the numbers. So he did this one show called Central Park West. I think I'm like one of the only people who ever watched that. I remember watching that in like 1998. Basically, when these buttons were made, I was watching Melrose Place and listening to Alanis Morissette and watching Darren Star shows. Everybody was talking about how what's his name? Aaron Spelling's was making those shows, and I guess he's like maybe the producer. I don't know. I was like, this is gonna be a real short show if I can't find them scissors. Let me mute this for a second while I struggle for my life. Anne says, I will be surprised if the cicadas don't get claimed. Kimberly says, you know me too well, Anne. Oh, we just got a claim for 14. Thank you. Suzanne says, working on a necklace with cicadas and snakes. Oh, that's cool. Marion said, didn't he also do Sex in the City? I don't know if he did Sex in the City. I didn't really ever watch that. I know that sounds like, I know it was super popular. And in theory, that would be right up my alley. But I didn't really ever watch Sex in the City. So, I mean, that may be some, I don't know if I'm going to, I don't know. We'll see if that's in our cards. All right. So this big one, this one glows. This one is a $12 one. And there's just one of those. It's a big boy. Or girl, whatever. Big one. I don't know. And then we got another grasshopper. I noticed some of y'all really enjoyed those. And these ones, this one, I love that one. That one is going to be, that one's also $12. I'll do $11.50 on it. All right, and I have another one of those big, great big moth pieces, and this one has like the double, triple shine on it, and that's this one. Boy, isn't that razzle dazzle? Kimberly says, is that a different color than the others? You know, I don't really know. Susan says, would love to see when you are finished. Susan says, those glowing ones are great. And it says, gonna switch to TV only since I'm not buying tonight. Look at that one. That's got the razzle dazzle. Rainbow Nation up in there. I think we have some of the colors maybe repeats. I'll try to switch to some different ones. So let's see. That one I can probably do for, that's a big one, so I'll do it for, wow. Susan says, give me a few days, please. And Susan says, look at that razzle dazzle. Yeah, I know, right? I'm a big fan of the razzle dazzle myself. All right. So this one is not a bug, but it's a great big, it's black with this beautiful kind of gold, bronze luster. It's a beauty. It's got a metal shank. It's a big one also. Let's see. I could probably do that for $9. Probably selling it too cheap, but there you go. BTB 18, $9. And then a medallion with kind of a coppery, bronzy luster on it. Ooh, this one is a pretty one. This one is a star. I love this one. That's gorgeous. It's got all that kind of razzle dazzle for sure. And it's also got a metal shank. I'll measure them in a minute, so keep an eye. I'm just gonna put a bunch of them, and then we'll kind of go from there. So this is gonna be BTB 19. I can probably do that one for $9 also. These are vintage check glass buttons. If you know, you know, kind of situation. They're not inexpensive. All right, so this is another one of these kind of big ones, and it's kind of like a, I don't know, it's got that pentagon and a faceted pentagon in the middle, and then it's got that kind of flower around it. That's going to be BTB 20, and that one is also going to be $9. Susan says BTB 19 is a little bit like morning jewelry. Yeah, I could see that 100%. I was actually reading about morning jewelry the other day, and yeah, fascinating stuff. All right, so you all know when we did the other ones, we talked about this thing called purple star or blue star shine, and when we got these, the person who we got them from said that they are no longer making this particular finish, so it's incredibly rare. So not only has it's got the blue star shine on it, but it's also got the gold on top of it. So I think that's a beautiful button. This is going to be BTB 21. This one's a little bit more pricey. This one is $12. And there's one available of this. Oh, I got a claim for 19, 18, and 20. Thank you, thank you. All right, let's do. I'm gonna finish off this row, and then I'll clear them out. Or maybe I should take them off as they sell. That may make it a little bit easier for folks. All right, so this one is another. This is the Blue Starshine. This one's $11 because it doesn't have the gold. This one is. There's only one of it. It's got the Blue Starshine. Since the morning jewelry and the PM photography are fascinating, I guess the post-mortem, not gruesome at all. Look at that one. Ooh, mommy, daddy, baby. Hot diggity damn, that's beautiful. We got another one of that same Blue Starshine flavor. And this one, whoa, this one's irradiated. So it's got the Blue Starshine and it's irradiated. So you get that extra rainbow on that. That one is going to be a $12 one because they did the extra. And there's only one of these available. All right. So let me see. I sold 14. Thank you. I didn't sell 15. Oh, I should measure this for y'all. So this one is about 40 millimeters. 16, did I sell 16? I did not sell 16. This one is approximately 25 by about 50. And it's really beautiful. I love how luminous it is. And that one is 99, so that's let's see, did we do 17? No takers on 17. This one's is probably the one irradiated on top of that AB finish. And they said it's a moss, so that's 34 by about 45. And that one is this. All right, BTB 18, that one got claimed. Thank you, thank you. All right. Let's see. Since the Be Still My Heart. I know, right? BTB 19, that one got claimed. Thank you, thank you. I have one coming up. Y'all gonna lose your minds. This is extra razzle dazzle. Let's see, BT20 sold. Thank you, thank you. Still no claims on BTB21, BTB22, or BTB23. Alas. I'll move those up. Everything I do is kind of like on the diagonal. I don't know. I think it's kind of funny how I'm like in my mind I'm making straight lines and it's clearly not straight. LOL. I don't know if people say LOL anymore, but I do. LOL. One of the people who worked for us, I don't know what their generation was. I guess maybe Gen Alpha. I don't know. The children, they'd go LOL. And I was like, what? Now look at this. Princess of Power, come here. Take a look at this. Now, this one's not a cheap date, but holy guacamole, you ready for the Pride Parade? Since I'm old school and still say LOL. I'm starting to channel William, dropping everything, and that's the Sharpie, so that's important. All right, this is going to be BTB 24. And this one I got to do a little bit more. 14 for this one. There's one available for it. But look, holy guacamole, y'all. I kind of want to keep that. I may keep that if it doesn't sell. All right. This one is, they use silver on the backs of this. So that's why this next one coming up is a little bit more spendy. I know sometimes, it's kind of weird how one thing will be one price and one. Oh, that one just got claimed. Thank you. Let me see. The scissors elude me again. I need to attach that. It'd be like them books, those old-timey books, where they have like it's chained to the wall. Let me dig around for them scissors because I apparently dropped them. Oh, there they are. All right, I have to shame myself too hard digging around. All right, take a look at this beauty. This one has that silver foil on the back, and they use real gold on it. So this one's a little bit more spendy, and it's $14 for this one. And there's one available. Susan says, that's me at my crafty desk. I have to do a sweep daily because I have the drops. Oh boy. All right, here we're going to do some Egyptian revival up in here next. This one is going to be $9, and it's got that pharaoh. That's going to be BTB 26, and it's going to be $9 only. See, I don't get it because some of these prices, like these ones look like the same to me, like size-ish, and somehow one is $14, one's $9. But that's how much we paid, or we got the, we got the formula to work out. So that's how much we're gonna do. All right. So let's do. Let's do. Well, I've got some real pretty ones. I've kind of been, I don't know, all over the place with it. Do you want to do more kind of image pictorial buttons, or do you want to do add some dogs? I got some old man smoking. I got some horses. I got some more spiders. I got all kinds of things. I got some florals. Are there any colors that y'all are interested in seeing? I know somebody said that they wanted a green spider. Let's see. We haven't done any frogs, I don't think. How about we do some frogs? These ones are jumbotron though, so you know it's gonna take a certain person who's gonna be interested in this. But there's that. And this one's black with gold. This is gonna be lime green with clear. This is gonna be white with green painted. And then I've got a lavender with gold. And then I got white and clear. And this is a purple and clear. All right, let me get y'all prices. This is the purple and clear. All right, let's do this kind of. I'm trying to be quick so that we're not going to be here until the end of time. All right, so let's see. Let's do them for $9 each for the gold ones, and then 8 one. Okay, so this one is going to be. I've got one available of this. This is going to be BTB27, and it's going to be this, the green with a gold, $9. The black one is going to be $9 for this one. BTB28, it's going to be black with gold. And then we'll jump this one and do that one next. And that's going to be BTB29. This one's going to be $9 as well. One of those available. What kind of shank? These are glass. They're glass shank. So this is BTB29, $9 for that one. All right, and then we'll do that one's hand painted, so I'll do that one for $9 as well. All right. And that's going to be this one. BTB 30, the hand painted green on kind of an opalescent white. All right, I got a claim for 28. Isn't it funny how folks like the same ones? Like, I just always think it's funny that folks gravitate sometimes towards the same ones. All right, so here we go. 28 got claimed. 29 and 30 are still available. All of the buttons that are on the desk are still still available. All right. So we're going to do BTB31. BTB31, $9 only. There's one of that. Oh, let's do that for 8. Since that BTB32, that one's going to be 8. Because those ones don't have the gold or are not hand painted. BTB 33, $8, one available. All right, so BTB 31 is the white with the clear, and that's a frog. BTB 32 is going to be $8, and it is the that kind of lilac-y purple with clear. Oh boy, it's getting crowded up in here. I'm gonna have to do some editing. All right, and then BTB 33 is $8, and that's that lime and clear. All right, so this is BTB 15, $12. This one, in case, did I measure this? I don't remember. I measured again. About 40 millimeters. I'm gonna put that away now. And then, let's see. This one didn't get picked up. I measured that one already. I'm not gonna measure it again. So what do y'all want? You want some Egyptian revival? Some more Egyptian revival? I have more insects. I have dogs. I have snakes. I have butterflies. I have some cats. They dang cute. I've got shoes. I got some hiking boots. I got hiking boots. Butterflies. There's spiders. I got some more spiders. I know somebody was looking for a green spider. I know you made something else with it, but I've got that. I have some dogs. Some horses. And the next ones, they're going to be smaller. Susan says Egyptian revival, cats, shoes. And I got old man smoking a pipe. I got some doggy that has them hairy dogs this small. Suzanne says I like the horse button I got. All right. Let's see. Oh, I got a claim for 28. Oh, I already got that. I already pulled that. Suzanne says pipe. All right. Maybe I'll do some of each. I probably need to make dinner for William since he's busted. I don't want him not to. I got him some Gatorade and some saltines. So hopefully he feels better. All right, I'll put this up here. And then let's see. Oh, I just got another book from Libby. It's called The Tainted Cup. I'm kind of excited to listen to it because it won a big award. Let's see. That's I don't know if you'll find this charming or not. I think it's pretty cute actually, but you know, so it's this little like old man with a pipe, and this one is $5. So let me make up some things. This is BTB34. And it's $5. There's only one in this colorway. I have it in other colors, but this is this one. BTB34, the old man of pipe. Let me do him. Maybe it's a woman. I don't know. I can't see the privates. And it's got a glass shank. See there? Glass shank. I got some heart buttons with flowers. They're actually pretty cute. And it's got bug on it too. This one, I do want this one. That one's $5. Kimberly says, that is a fun bead. This is going to be BTB35. 34. Ann says, 34 reminds me of the Gorton's Fisherman. Yeah, I could see that. I could go for some fake fish sticks right now. I have it in other colors, but oh, I got a claim for 34. If you want me to do the other colors, I can do that in other colors. I'm gonna skip to for one. I love this one. This one is a little bit razzle dazzle time. This is gonna be BTB36. This one's $6. I got one of that. And it's a heart. It's got flowers and then a little ladybug. And then that has got a glass shank. I got it in other colorways too. Now this one is hand painted. The hand painted ones are usually a little bit more, but I'll do that one. See, this one is a little bit, you can see it a little bit easier. This one got so much razzle dazzle, it bewitches the eyes. BTB37. And that one I'll do for $6 also. And one of these. And then let's see. You don't want more of that? I got a little bit of some other colors. Now this one, I love this color. I don't know what kind of color this is, but it's kind of like a raspberry metallic, bronzy color. Look how detailed it is. That one is going to be a $6 one too. All right, BTB38, $6. One of that available. All right. Let's see. Let's go. I'm going to clear the deck on some of this stuff. All right. 34 got claimed. Thank you. 36 got claimed. Thank you. And that's it. I'm going to clear the deck so that we can kind of start kind of freshish. So I'll do the cats. I know that y'all like cats because you're of my people. I also love the cats. I as well love the cats. Let's see. Whoop. Be knocking stuff over. So have y'all been watching any good shows? We're almost done with that Younger, so we're gonna be on the lookout for something. I want to see that new Frankenstein, that Guillermo del Toro. It looks really pretty. Apparently, it's been out for a while, but it's coming to the Netflix in November. So I still got a ways to wait for it, but it looks like a really beautiful version. They said it's like a really fresh take on it, so I don't know what that means, but I'm interested. And Suzanne said, my cats are currently snoring, probably listening to the sound of my voice. And so they started season 3 of The Diplomat. I love that show. Suzanne says, I'm waiting for Ken Burns' series on the American Revolution. That should be interesting. Susan says, I want to see that new Frankenstein movie as well. Yeah, it looks really beautiful. And then I love Guillermo del Toro's stuff. It's always a little bit kind of magical. I might watch Pan's Labyrinth again. It's been a minute since I've watched it. I don't like how it gets gory. You know, there's gory parts in it. I guess that's war for you. But, you know, I'm sensitive like a flower now, like a delicate, sweet flower. So I don't like my eyes to be polluted with the violence. But the movie is very beautiful, and I love the special effects. And then I love, it's kind of a sad story, but I guess World War II sad. So, let's do a couple more. Where are them cats? All right, I got them, y'all. There's only 2 of them. All right, they dang cute, y'all. Get ready. So this one is going to be $39. This one, this gray one, it's going to be $40. Double dang cute, y'all. BTB 39, $5. There's one of that available. BTB 40. This one will also be $5. There's one of that available. A little gray kitten. A little green eyes. What's it doing? It's gonna get up to no good. Let's do. Ooh, I love these scarabs. Mommy, daddy, baby. Let me do. I can probably do these for $5 each. All right, this is gonna be the BTB 41. $5. One of these available. It's gonna be this one. This is a black button. These have glass shanks. This one has that iridescent blue. This one's BTB 42. This one's gonna be $5. There's one of this available. These ones, I love these scarabs, y'all. Whoop. This one's kind of like a little bit of a pale reddish, orangey red mixed with clear with like the gold. All right. I then saw 40. Oh, 40 got claimed. All right. Let me do a couple more of these. BTB 43. BTB 44. All these I got ones, so I don't know what I'm doing. BTB 45. We started watching that Alien Earth, but I got so bored. I kept falling asleep. That could be a me thing. It may not be a reflection of the show, but yeah, I couldn't stay awake for it. So that's what happens sometimes, I guess. Ooh, how about we do this one? This is some razzle dazzle business. I'm interested in that flavor. This one's got a metal shank on it. And it's got all the rainbows, y'all. And this is going to be, let me see. I can do that one for 6. So this is going to be BTB 43. It's got the rainbow. It's that flower. Look at that shine at you. You're gonna stop traffic with that business. All right, let's do another one of these rainbow flavors. Now this one has a metal shank and a silver backing. And matte. Look at that. Holy smokes. Are you bewitched yet? Welcome to the bewitching. Alright, that's $6 too. That's a steal, y'all. If that one doesn't say, I'm gonna keep it. I have no shame. You think I'm have shame? I'm shame free pretty much. Alright. Let's see. This one have a glass. It's got them glass shank. And that's gonna be this. This is that purple starshine business. And that's 6. Should be more, but I'm gonna do 6. 44 got claim. 44 got claim a couple times. Susan says, I don't care for gore either. That's why I like classic movies for Halloween. Yeah, I need something a little bit more not gonna give me nightmares. I have a pretty good imagination as it is. I don't need encouragement. Like that one, there's like an episode of what was it? It was The Boys or something. I wanted to like that show because it's like about superheroes and stuff, and but they started getting into the gore, and I was like, I don't know if it was like so gory, and I was just like a little bit like I don't know. I wanted to like it because I like superheroes and stuff, and but that one was a little bit like gross, and I guess it's probably more accurate and true to life. Like if there's people, there's gonna be some messed up people, even the superheroes. This one's gonna be the Egyptian revival, and that's gonna cost you. Let's see how much it's gonna do. $9.50. BTB 46. $9.50. Got one of that. This is beautiful. This one. All right. Let's see. I'll do. Ooh, that one's so pretty. Yeah, I don't really like, and then like sometimes the sex stuff, like I don't know, maybe I'm getting like I don't know sensitive, but like I don't need to see all of it all the time. I don't mind, but I don't know. Maybe I do mind. That one's gonna be 950 also. That one's gonna be 950 also. Um, but you know what? I did. You know, I don't need to see like everything, and also like I don't like rape scenes anymore. Like we were watching Outlander, and I was like, let what can we not? And they're like, oh, well, it was like real rough a long time ago. And I was like, I don't need to see it. This one's gonna be BTB 48. And like child molestation, I don't want to see that nothing. I'll turn it off immediately. Um, so there you go. That's my take on the movies. And says, I don't like gore, even psychological thrillers. My sister will even say, you won't like this show. There's nobody likable in it. I need to root for somebody. I agree. Like, I don't, if it's somebody like, we were watching some show and it's about like some serial killer. I was like, I don't give a shit about any of these people. Get thee behind thee. I don't need nobody give me be over here. It's like, who am I rooting for? This serial killer or this serial killer? How about none? I know some people they love them serial killers, and I'm like, not for me. All right, let's do. I got this one. This one's a pretty one. This one of them bugs. It's got one of them iridescent AB time 2. That's gonna be BTB 49. I need to get up in a second because my foot's falling asleep. Let me see. How much is this one? I'll do it for 6. That's a screaming steal for that one. All right. I got a claim for that. Thank you. Thank you. Let me see what we got. What we got. All right. This is going to be BTB50. That's a green spider. And that one is going to be $5. All right. That's going to be the green with the clear spider. Do y'all want to keep going or do you want to stop? I do have to get up, but I can keep going. Kimberly says, I'm with you, Andrew. I turn off anything that showcases harm to children. That's why I don't watch Law and Order SVU. Yeah, skip that. When they were talking about, I watched like an episode, I don't know where, I was like in a waiting room for something, and I could not turn it off. And I was like, I gotta go. And I was like, who is watching this? But, you know, I guess it's better that people kind of watch it, I guess, better than if it's real life. All right. Oh, BTB 50 sold. All right, I'm gonna put this away. Ooh, I'm getting tingly on my foot. I fell asleep real bad. All right, so I'll measure this real quick. And Suzanne says, I'm tired. I had a cold for the past few days. Well, feel better. Hopefully, you know, not have a cold for very much longer. All right, so this is 20 by about 18. This one. This is going to be BTB 35, $5. You know, this chair, it's like a church pew, y'all. It's worse than a church pew. It lulls you into thinking that there's a cushion, but really it's hateful and it's going to make your ass cheeks fall asleep in your foot. Well, I'm probably going to be said, don't say naughty words on the TV time. Oh, well, this like the prime time. He doesn't care anymore. He know me. He's been around me. I don't know. Maybe we'll do 10 more. I'll get rid of all the ones that so that you don't get filled with temptation. Ann said, yeah, SVU is too upsetting. Yeah, I don't want to have nothing to do when they have them kids get hurt. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. For people with like mental challenges, I don't need to see that either. And it's like, I know this stuff happens every day, but I don't need to be reminded of it. 43 got claimed, 40 got claimed. Oh, good. And then 39 didn't get claimed. That little devil kitty didn't get claimed. Oh, boy. Bless its little devil kitty heart. Let me see. The 37 didn't get claimed. I'll be all out of order. All right, this one didn't get claimed. This one didn't get claimed. This one, little devil kitty, didn't get claimed. Y'all don't know no devil kitties, do you? I do. And usually they come out at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm awake. Poor William, he's not. He's passed out and they'd be rattling the door handle. Gertie, good girl. Gertie gumdrop. And then 46. 46 didn't sell nothing. What's this one? Look at that. It's kind of like it's glowing at you. It's got that gold, and then look, it's got a little cartouche on the sides. There's the name. Ann says, can you imagine working in that field for real? How would you not just hate everyone? Kimberly said, no, there's a reason I'm an accountant. Yeah, you know, I think that that's one of those things where you have to get like super good at compartmentalizing. I don't have that skill, so I take things to heart. I know that I'm learning better about how to compartmentalize, but I'm not there yet, and I know that about myself. That one also didn't get claimed. So you know, that's not the way, at least for me. You know, there's some folks that can do that, but I just get so like wrapped up in my head about stuff, and I start fixating on how I need to add justice to the world. there's a in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which they're going to do a kind of like a sequel relaunch kind of thing for it, which I'm kind of excited for because I loved Buffy when it came out, the TV show. There's like a vengeance demon, and then there's Anya, and she would like punish people who needed punished. And I was like, I could get behind that. I could see that. I don't like my. I guess it's because I got too much Libra in my chart. All right, that one is gonna be. Let me see how much. Let me do it. I can do that. That's gonna be 451. 51. That's gonna be $6. I can do it for $5. BTB 51. $5. Kimberly says, all of my siblings are in healthcare, both RN and in the ICU. That's another one that I can't do. Is we do a lot of stuff for fundraising for Beads of Courage. And like I love Jean. She is like an angel among people. But I could not have her job because when them kids come out and they're sick, like I start bawling my eyes out. And I don't know what's happened, why I'm getting so like emotional all of a sudden. I didn't used to be like this, but now that I'm like learning about feelings and stuff, it comes out and I'm just like I'm crying about everything nowadays. But when then kids come out, I could just like it just tears me up. This is gonna be one of them bugs. This is gonna be 52. And that's a $5. And then I do this one. Let me see. Do a B on the B's. I guess I do some 50 on that. Oop. I'm not going to mess with that. Let's see. How about I do some dogs? I haven't done any dogs. And I said I would do some dogs. Or how about, let me do the old man in the sea. I didn't do this dog. I didn't do them boots. Let's do these boots. How about we do these boots? These are fun. These are going to be, let's see, how much is this? I'm going to do these for $5. Look at that. And so I also think it's the times in our country. I am not a crier, but now I tear up at a drop of the hat. Anytime someone in the slightest bit nice, even on TV, my sister said the same. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Kimberly says they can compartmentalize. I'm always too empathetic. Susan says sometimes that's why I listen to music more than TV. Even the music, sometimes I just like hear something and it's just like, I don't know. Something's up. I need to do like a cleanse or something. All right. Of course. Oh, there goes the pen. I was like, now I can't find the pen. BTB 53. That's 53, right? 53. That's going to be $5. There's one of this. This is an orange boot, and it's got like it looks irradiated actually. And then we'll do, ooh, these are cute. I would like shoes like this. Oh, 100% like this shoes. They have a glass shank on these boots, by the way. In case you're wondering, look at these. This Star Trek Discovery shoes. I like them. I'll wear that. I have the love for the gold shoes. Not those gold shoes, if you know what I'm talking about. That I wouldn't put on my foot for nothing. But I do like a gold shoe. So You know, that's what happens in our world. All right, this is BTB 54, $5 for this like black little boot with the gold accents. Here's some Santa time. I guess this is kind of like a. These are all vintage check. This is red with a little bit of that black. That's gonna be BTB. BTB 55. $5 only on that one. And then let's see. Y'all want me to do some more boots? I've not been selling the boots. How about we do some butterflies? I know y'all like some butterflies. Ooh boy, this one's pretty. That's a little cutie. That's gonna be BTB 56. That's $5. You can do a $5 night. Maybe. There's some a little bit more expensive than that. All right. BTB 57. This is also going to be $5. Whoop. And this one be that Razzle Dazzle Nation. I love this one. I don't know how they do that. I need to figure out how they do that. But they have some kind of coating on the back, and it's got like all these rainbows in it. And it's just so pretty. We're going to do maybe a pink. We haven't done much pink tonight. What? BTB 58, $5. One of those available. And then we're going to do BTB 59. And then we're going to do BTB 16, and that's it. We're going to go cook dinner. And I got a claim for BTB 57. I'm going to do these dogs. I don't know, is this Bouillon free? Done summon that up from somewhere. Alright, we do that for 7. Done drop that. I need to be careful because I'm getting a little bit too aggressive with the sharps. This one got a glass shank. Oop. And this is a black one. And that's going to be 58. Let me see how much that costs. I can do it for 6. And then we'll also do the last one, be another one of them dogs. And that's also 6. And then let me find it off the floor since I've been knocking it to the ground. Maybe that's why William got the abs and I don't, because he keep bending over to pick stuff up. Anyway, then drop that down the world. Alright, I'll do another one. This would be one of them gray dogs. I saw the news that they cast what is that? Akasha. Is that her name? The Queen of the Dam. For the new season of the So this is like a gray one. That one's hand painted, $6. All right, that's gonna be it. But I'll run through them real quick and give you sizes and stuff. I sold 56 and 58. Thank you, thank you. All right, we'll say goodbye to this. That one is about 20. About 20. All right. That one's nice. I like that one. I do love the idea of making these into like a really fun. I saw these stretchy bracelets where they just had a shoot ton of buttons all over it, and they were on this really like, I think it was a multi-strand of stretchy cord, and it was just really beautiful. There's just like so many. It was like a charm bracelet but with buttons, and that's this one. That kind of coppery, purpley copper one. I didn't. Nobody got in the little red kitten. The little firecracker cat. All right, that'll go. Oh, is Diane here tonight? I haven't seen Diane. I hope she's all right. You know, if I don't see people, I start to get worried. There's a bunch of people I didn't see tonight, actually. But you know, it's like one of them times. Right? Did I sell 41? I don't think I sold 41 that scarab. I like it though. Tell me about it. All right. 42. Did I sell 42? Nope. All right. So hopefully y'all have been doing well. I like it when you post because then I'm like, it makes me feel happy in my heart because I get to see something in my timeline that's not make me want to weep on the ground. So when I see people making stuff, that always, and my timeline gets a little bit less wild. I appreciate that for my own mental well-being. Because let me tell you, most of my feed is just like, hear how the world gonna burn down tomorrow. And I'm just like, I can't deal with this. I guess it goes back to that compartmentalizing that I have already confirmed that I am no good at. But I try to post things that I think are really like beautiful or interesting or fun. And it's not because I don't care about like current events, because certainly I do, and probably more than I should. But it does, for me, it helps me feel less like I'm in the upside down, you know? I kind of feel like, oh, the little devil cat got claimed. Good job, good job. I kind of feel like, you know, it's like, what are we, like, what is the point sometimes with like so much of this, like, all going on? It's like this noise that don't give up. It's just, Kimberly says, I hide posts that are not positive or are political. I don't want it from either side on my feed. Yeah, I get kind of like, there are some people that I love and I just adore them to pieces. And I agree with them politically. However, some of their posts are straight up mean. And I don't know. I can't abide it. I don't want to think about some things. I don't, and it's not me trying to be centrist or whatever, but I just don't want to be in this like constantly angry. And I know some folks, they, like anger is a quick fuel, I feel like. But usually when I operate from a place of anger, I feel like more exhausted, more tired, more wore out. And I don't want to feel that way. Like, I have to be careful about what I consume because there's these people, and bless their hearts, they are the shit stirrers times 10. And I know they know that what they say is done to purposely hurt me. And they'll say, "Oh, did you hear about this?" And they act all innocent, like they just being sweet as pie. And I know it's what they're doing is to try to rile me up. And I'm just like, I don't want to play that game. I want to know about this person or know about this thing. I don't need to feel like hatred and anger, and I just don't want to live like that. And so I've been just like deleting people, and I hate to say that, but there's this one person, and they have nothing kind to say ever. It's always complaining nonstop. And you know what? I know they had a hard time. They got a hard go of it. But like I was talking about how I was excited to listen to the new Taylor Swift album, and I'm like, that bitch can't sing. I said delete. This delete. And it's not because I'm like a super Swifty or whatever, but you know what? There's about 20 million, billion, a million. I don't know how many people done listen to that that would disagree. And you know what? I don't need to be somebody yuck my yum every single time. You know what? Maybe you don't like it. Well, fine. That's good. But I don't need to be hearing about it. Just post about it on your own timeline. But they jump on every post I do. Oh, this, and so negative. And I'm like, bye. See you. Anyways, I'm starting to get how you get wild. Kimberly said, yeah, I'm not a fan of that either. Kimberly said, I've never sat and just listened to her music since she switched from country to pop, but I did this release. I really like the music. You know, I like it. I love folklore, and this is not, this different. But you know what? I'm not gonna jump on all these people's posts and then like try to fight them when they're talking about how they're excited about something. Oh, hey, Beth, Duck Duck Bruce, she's watching. Howdy. I was gonna try to come this weekend or this week to go sign letters at Touchstone, but I don't know if I can do it because I got about 1 million things to do before we go to Italy, and I have done about one out of the million. So maybe I'll send an email to Stephanie, and maybe she can send me like a packet, and then I can sign letters that way. I did that last time and it was nice because I could be in my pajamas. I know y'all probably don't care if I roll up in my pajamas, but I do. Beth says, I totally get it. Stay focused on Italy. Yeah, got a lot to do before we go. Kimberly says, no, those kind of people would be deleted too. You know, it's just one of those things where I think it's so important to protect your positivity. And I don't even know if it's positivity because I think like there's like so much almost like toxic positivity where people they just love and light so much that you like, well, life's not like that. But you know what? I think it's one of those things like we have choices. And like I know some people they don't look at my posts because sometimes my posts are sad and they talk about things. And I know that I'm not for everybody. And but I also think that the people who resonate with the stuff I post, those are the people that like they get it. It's a complicated world where there's stuff that's happening. Kimberly says I'm watching in my PJs. Yeah, me too. But I'm not gonna go out in public in my PJs. I don't need to get a reputation. They're gonna be like this, that, and the other thing. Um, but it's just like one of those things. Like I think, you know, it's good to have a balance. Beth says, maybe it's protecting our lived experience. I do the same. Anne says, me too. I think it is a balance though. And you kind of have to be able to, like, I think you have to have joy as well as be realistic with what the world is kind of serving up. You can't. I've never been successful in being able to live in a bubble. I wish I could be like that. There's some of my friends, and they just so happy all the time, and there's no wrong in the world because they see the world through rose-colored glasses for sure. And even if something bad happens, they always see the bright side on everything. And I really wish that I could be like that. But um, I skew towards the other side. And so I made a choice a long time ago, either be happy or not. And I think that's when I was getting together with William. Before that, like I was definitely did not choose always to be happy, and I also didn't know how to emotionally regulate. I'm still working on it. That's one of them things that's going to take time. But I didn't grow up with parents who knew how to emotionally regulate, so that's one of those things that you kind of or you don't just like pop out and you like boot. Maybe some people be enlightened from the get-go, but I think it's one of those things where you have to work at it. It's something that you have to be able to have systems in place where you can like understand and recognize your feelings, and you don't have to act from a place of reaction. Sometimes it's good to be able to say things like I don't know and mean it. And sometimes you have to learn about something and form an opinion. You don't have to like be quick to have an answer for everything. I don't know. But anyway, before I met William, I was a little bit of a mess. Still am a little bit. I own it. But not as messy as it used to be. That's for sure. When William and I first started dating, um, there was what you call a learning curve. And if you ever ask him about my spicy carrot cake, you'll know that I have a temper. I don't have that kind of temper anymore, but back then I used to have a temper. Anyways, don't worry about it. But says, hey, sending you love to Allegory Gallery, but I have to head to sleep. Just want to say hi because I saw the live happening. Thank you. Well, thanks for popping on. Since I'm too aware of what's going on in the world to wear rose-colored glasses about current state of things and not trying to do something about it. I feel you. It's that kind of warring between what is like being informed and being well informed and then being like swallowed up. Because I don't want to get swallowed up. It's like being in the riptide, and it's hard to find a sense of center and ground when you're just like being whooped around by. And I know they're doing, like, the people who are on purposely kind of frothing up your emotions. They're doing it on purpose. They know exactly 100% what they're doing. They're going to wear you out and make you exhausted emotionally and mentally so that you can't focus, you can't do anything because you're paralyzed by this slingshot roller coaster ride of emotions. And they're going to pull and tug and grip and gripe and everything until you're about to pass out. And so, I think it's one of those things where it's good to be aware and be proactive. And so I can either be in denial or take action. I prefer the latter. Yeah, I get it. I do think, though, you and I and everybody, we all need to have that balance, because if you don't have that balance, like I see so many people when they get caught up in the movement and they fight, and they are like overcome by the fight. And then when the fight's over and they got what they wanted, then they're still angry. And it's like, what are we fighting for? I think we have to ground ourselves in that and work from a place of um, of aspiration and of hope and of love and compassion and kindness, and not be. I know so many people, they get like, one of my friends, she's getting ulcers because she's getting, the news is like getting to her. And I was like, just turn it off. And she's like, I can't turn it off. And I was like, you are making yourself literally sick watching the news. And you just need to stop watching that. And she's like, I can't do it. And I was like, well, I guess they make medicine for it now. But when you coughing up blood because of the news, this and poop and blood, then that's probably not great. Anyways, since the burnout is a real thing, balance is necessary. 100%. All right. Well, on that note, I wish you all much creativity, balance, hope, creativity. I want for all of you the best things possible, and I want you to have, you know, something worth fighting for. And I'll leave you on that. We'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to get up to tomorrow, but we'll be back at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll see you then. See ya.